Today's video, I've actually come to North Wales for a few days. Just a bit of photography, get a few videos in, and a bit of general relaxation. As some of you know, I have had some issues over the last few months where I had severe stress and burnout. I've very much lost my mojo with photography, and even more so with the videography side of things. So I've decided today, for the first video in a long time, to come to a place where I've actually been before, but a very, very long time ago. I've come to the walking path leading up Snowdon. I'm not actually going up Snowdon itself, I'm actually going to a waterfall that's along the path. And that waterfall is the very first waterfall I photographed over 35 years ago. I'm really excited to see how it's changed in that 35 years. Since I came last, it's had 35 years of development, 35 years of tree and plant growth, 35 years worth of hikers and other photographers. One thing's for sure, it's going to have changed a lot. I'm looking forward to seeing how much. So let's get up there, let's get some images in. As you can see over in the distance, there's the waterfall. Now, for my first composition, I've actually got an old sort of break in the path here. This probably hasn't been used for a long time as a path, but I'm using that as my foreground interest for my first shot. Set up on the tripod, focus stacking all the way to the waterfall. I'm on f8, 1/60th of a second, and I'm set up on the tripod. I'm using the Leica Q2 as my main camera at the moment, so I've only got the 28mm focal length to work with, but I'm getting a good shot there nonetheless. The next shot I'm going to take is further down, looking up at the waterfall, which is pretty much the shot I got 35 years ago. I must admit, I've never been here at this time of year in May, and the bluebells, as you can probably see behind me, they're all out along this hillside and they look absolutely stunning. So I'm probably going to change my composition in a minute and get another shot with the bluebells making up the main foreground. Put both those shots up now for you, and I'll come back to you at the bottom of the waterfall. So here we are. This is the waterfall, the main waterfall on the Watkin Path. It's also the very first waterfall I ever photographed. I was only 9 years old. I'd only been taking photos for about a year. I wasn't very good. Some may argue that I'm not very good now, but that's a case for opinion. Now I'm a bit more restricted this time with my gear because I've only brought the Leica Q2, which is a fixed focal length of 28mm. The last time I came, which was a very long time ago, I had more choice in focal length, but a lot less camera knowledge, a lot less photography knowledge. While my photography's improved, and I have restricted myself with my options, but while my photography and my options have improved, the area has degraded. It's very busy. It's much more busy than it was when I came 35 years ago, and there's a lot more people around. That is to be expected because the Watkins Path is the pretty much the most popular path. So I want to show you this first composition I've got. I'll just turn you around. I'm looking at the waterfall leading up. There are people around, so I'm going to have to clone them out later. I've got my composition set, so I'm photographing this little pool in front of me and looking at the waterfall going up. Now normally this waterfall would have a bit more flow to it when there's been more rainfall, but at the moment, as you can see, it hasn't really got that much going for it. It still looks beautiful nonetheless. So let's get to the let me get you to the camera and I'll show you what I'm thinking about. Okay, so as you can see on the camera here, I've got aperture of f11. I'm half a second. As you can see, I'm focused on the pool in front of the camera there, leading up the waterfall up to the top of the mountain. Now I've cut a lot of that sky out at the top because I don't want that. I've also got my polarizer and my 4-stop ND filter on, just to bring down the light and get the exposure more where I want it, and just to soften that water out a bit as well. Like I say, there are people constantly coming up and down on the waterfall at the top. I'm going to clone them out when I come to post-production. And I've focus stacked the image as well. I've taken a shot here in the foreground, here in the mid-ground, and one for the top of the waterfall as well. So with my first shot in the bag, I decided to change composition and move over to the bank of the river. I wanted to make more use of these bluebells that I've got on the bank here. So I've set my composition up looking over through these rocks with the bluebells and the waterfall in the background. Hopefully that's going to prove to be a nice image. We'll see. I've come over to the bank, as I say. I'm set up down here looking towards the waterfall through these bluebells and the rocks. The rocks that you can see over there are forming a nice leading line into the image. We've got the waterfall in the background, and up at the top there, creating a nice contrast of white against all the rocks. It is a bright day, so I'm still using my 4-stop ND filter. I'm using my polarizer to increase the saturation in the greens, and I'm still shooting That's about half a second. Aperture f8, and I will be focus stacking the image to make a nice sharp shot. If that comes out any good, I'll put it up now for you. Last time I came to this location I was nothing more than a very young child. Now, 35 years later, I'm a middle-aged man. As such, I wanted to make the most of this amazing location. So I decided to walk a little bit further up, change my composition and get some shots of the top waterfall, simply because I don't know if or when I'll ever come back to this location again. So I've come up from where I was before, which is down there. I was literally down in that rock pool down there. I've come up to this part of the waterfall here, set my composition looking at this small waterfall here, snaking up to the main waterfall at the top. Now, as I have mentioned before in this video, it is actually very busy today. This is actually quite a popular path now. So what I've done, I've focus stacked the image all the way up to the top, and then I've waited for the top to clear to get a clear image of the top as well. I'll blend all those together and create one image. What I love about the shot I've got here is the natural snaking of the waterfall, the way it's actually snaking up to the main falls at the top. I like the way the tree beside me is actually framing the shot at the side. Of course, I'm going to have to see how that looks, how it translates when I actually create the image later on. I haven't decided yet on the composition, the crop of the image. I may go for a square crop on this one because I do like the main bulk of the image, but there's just some bits at the side that could do with getting rid of. So we'll see how that pans out. I'm going to take that shot at 1/8 of a second, ISO 100 and aperture of f8. Polarizer and ND filter still on the camera, and that's it. Image is coming up now, and I'll come back to end the video. So as I walk away from this location that I haven't been to for so long, I notice the path getting busier as the day wears on. It's time to leave a location that I haven't been to for 35 years. I'm hoping that I'll come back one day soon, maybe in the autumn. I want to miss this location, but it's really been nice to come back. So there we go, that's the end of another video. First video in some time, but they are going to start coming more often as time goes on. What a location to restart my journey on YouTube and to reinvigorate my passion about photography. I'm certainly looking forward to getting to the next location, which I'm going to today, which is going to be another old one for me, which is Dorothea Quarry. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.